and stored on your mobile itself. This information is not
Good afternoon and welcome to Express News. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. In the next half an hour, crisp, non-stop news updates. Let's begin. Rajasthan High Court orders status quo. No action for now on disqualification notices against dissident MLAs. Rajasthan High Court allows plea moved by Sachin Pilot, rebel MLA seeking impediment of Union of India and writ petition on disqualification issue. Application for impediment was moved on the grounds that the constitutional amendment is under challenge and therefore Union of India is a necessary party now. Dissident Congress MLAs led by Pilot have challenged their disqualification notices through the writ petition, which was taken up by the bench on Friday last week, and arguments were held. Notices to MLAs were served after the party complained to the Speaker that the legislators had defied a whip to attend two Congress legislature party meetings on Monday and Tuesday last week. The Pilot camp, however, argued that the party whip applies only when the Assembly is in session. The provision disqualifies MLAs if they voluntarily give up membership of the party which they represent in the House. Pilot was sacked as Deputy Chief Minister and the President of the state unit of the party after he rebelled against Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot. The Supreme Court adjourned the hearing to August 4th, 2009 contempt case against activist lawyer Prashant Bhushan and journalist Tarun Tejpal after senior advocates representing them sought time to prepare. Apex Court had issued contempt notice to Bhushan and Tejpal in November 2009 for allegedly casting aspersions on some sitting and former top court judges in an interview to a news magazine. Tejpal was the editor of the news magazine. MHA has issued detailed guidelines regarding celebration of Independence Day on 15th August amidst COVID-19. Independence Day celebrations at Red Fort this year will be limited to Prime Minister's speech, guard of honor, unfurling of national flag, national anthem and release of tricolour balloons. In a letter written to Chief Secretaries of all states and union territories, Ministry of Home Affairs has informed that Independence Day celebrations should be held in a way befitting the occasion. However, in its clear direction to the states, district and panchayat authorities, MHA has instructed not to allow large congregations, keeping in mind mandatory physical distancing norms. It is imperative to follow certain preventive measures such as wearing of masks, proper sanitization, avoiding large congregations, protecting vulnerable person. It said digital technology should be used to maximize people participation. The guidelines also suggest inviting COVID warriors such as doctors, health workers, sanitation workers in recognition of their service in the fight against the pandemic. Government has also urged the state and district authorities to maximize the outreach of Atmanirbhar Bharat campaign and present programs, activities based on theme of self-reliance. President Ramnath Kovind today flagged off Red Cross relief material for people affected due to floods and coronavirus in the states of Assam, Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan and Chairman of the Indian Red Cross Society were also present on the occasion. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath today interacted with the migrant workers. Chief Minister also inquired about the work being given to labourers in villages. On the occasion, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath also transferred rupees 70 crore in 80 lakh workers' accounts. In the wake of corona pandemic, the state government has transferred 1,000 rupees in each worker's account. BJP will organize Ek Bharat, Ekatam Bharat program on the completion of 1 year after the end of Section 370 and 35A. The virtual rally will be held in every state from 28 July to 3rd August in the state, respective local language. A dialogue with intellectuals will also be conducted during the period. Government has amended the General Financial Rules 2017 to enable imposition of restrictions on bidders from countries which share land border with India. A statement released by Union Finance Ministry said the Department of Expenditure had, under the said rules, issued detailed order on public procurement to strengthen defence and national security of India. As per the order, any bidder from such countries will be eligible to bid in any procurement, whether of goods, services or works, only if the bidder is registered with the competent authority. The restrictions on public procurement from such countries can be imposed for reasons of national security and other factors directly or indirectly related to country's defense. The recovery rate is continuously improving for COVID-19. Patients among COVID-19 recovered across India has crossed 8 lakh mark with improved recovery rate at 63.18%. Cumulative figure of recovered cases stood at 8,17,208, active cases 4,40,135, all under medical attention in hospitals or home isolation. The case fatality rate in the country stands at 2.3%. India has one of the lowest case fatality rates in the world. 30,601 patients have died so far. There are as many as 1,290 labs in the country, including 897 labs in government sector, 393 private labs. Several people-centered measures taken as part of the test, trace, treat strategy have removed impediments for COVID-19 testing. Facilitation of widespread testing by states, union territories has spurred the number of samples tested every day. During the last 24 hours, 3,52,801 samples have been tested, pushing the cumulative number of tests to 1,54,28,170. In Bhopal, a 10 days lockdown will begin from tonight at 8 p.m. will remain in force until 5 a.m. on August 4th. Establishments except special services will remain closed. Supply of vegetables, milk, essential services will remain open along with industries. Medical services, government ration shops will also remain open during the period. In Bhopal, all state and central government offices will function at capacity to run in this lockdown. Chief Minister Madhya Pradesh to follow all the rules during the lockdown period. Guideline clearly states that strict action will be taken against those who do not follow the social distancing norms and not wear mask or break the rules of the lockdown. Transport service to be. However, movement outside the city will remain prohibited and e-passes will be required for any movement in Bhopal. Central Railway Mumbai Division has launched an app called Check-in Master for contactless ticket checking in Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Terminus, Mumbai. The app will help railway staff to discharge their duties without any fear, as the app has OCR and QR code scanning features to check PRS and UTS tickets from a safe distance. Handheld thermal guns are also provided for thermal screening of passengers. This Check-in Master app can be used for attendance and real-time monitoring of ticket checking and staff as well. Flood situation in Assam worsens. 4 more lives lost due to floods in the last 24 hours, taking the death toll to 93. Over 28 lakh people are affected due to floods in the state. With continuous downpour, River Brahmaputra in Jorhat, Sonitpur, Guwahati, Golpara, Dhubri districts is still flowing above the danger level mark. 2,634 villages under 74 revenue circles in 26 districts, along with about 1.1 lakh hectares of cropland, are submerged, as according to the Assam State Disaster Management Authority report on Thursday. At present, about 47,000 inmates are taking shelter at 286 relief camps across the state. In Bihar also, the flood situation has worsened in many districts, affecting more than 6 lakh population. The flood waters have spread to 282 panchayats of 55 blocks. However, water level of most of the rivers have either stabilized or is decreasing. Relief and rescue operations by NDRF and SDRF teams in flood-affected areas are underway in full swing. IMD has warned of moderate to heavy rainfall at some places during the day today. The Supreme Court has granted extension of 6 months for the committee inquiring into the Hyderabad encounter case. The inquiry committee, headed by Justice V. Sirpurkar, could not complete probe due to COVID-19 lockdown. The committee was to submit report by August. The government has paved the way for enhancing participation of women officers in Army by sanctioning the grant of permanent commission for women in all 10 streams of the force. The order will provide permanent commission to women officers working in 10 streams of Army under Short Service Commission. These 10 services of Army include Army Air Defence Signals Engineers, Army Aviation, Electronics, Mechanical Engineers, Army Service Corps, Army Ordnance Corps and Intelligence Corps, in addition to the existing streams of Judge, Advocate General and Army Educational Corps. Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan today participated in a meeting of health ministers of Shanghai Cooperation Organization member states via video conferencing. While addressing the conference, Health Minister highlighted the steps that India has taken in combating spread of COVID-19. Dr. Harshvardhan said that India has successfully managed to flatten the curve of the pandemic with the help of measures like ramping up testing and nationwide 3-month-long lockdown. He also underlined how India's traditional medicines have helped people build immunity against the disease. Health Minister also proposed setting up of new subgroup of traditional medicines. He even sought the support of member countries of SCO in setting up new group of traditional medicines. The new coronavirus has claimed the lives of over 6.36 lakh people worldwide, while more than 1.56 crore people have contracted the infection so far. US and Brazil remain worst affected in terms of COVID-19 infections and fatalities. US has so far recorded 41.70 lakh cases and over 1.47 lakh deaths. Brazil has recorded over 22.89 lakh infections and over 84,207 deaths. United States and Brazil are followed by UK with over 45,554 fatalities, further followed by Mexico, Italy and France. Over 3.17 lakh infections have been detected in Spain, while 28,429 people have lost their lives so far due to the pandemic. In Spain, regional restrictions across the country have tightened again to prevent the spread of COVID-19 clusters. Authorities in Totana in southeast went back into the lockdown and told residents not to leave or enter the city unless their trip was essential. People were advised to stay at home and the capacity of open commercial premises was halved. Restriction imposed after 55 new positive cases registered recently. In Pamplona, where the city called off the San Fermin Bull Run festivities for the first time in 4 decades, authorities will test more than 2,000 youngsters after more than 100 people tested positive in Mendeori neighborhood. The affected area, along with other towns in Aragon, returned to some lockdown measures to prevent further spread. Bolivia in the last 24 hours recorded about 1,778 cases and 55 new deaths. It is now more than 65,000 total cases of the virus with more than 2,400 casualties. Bolivia has suspended its presidential election for the second time, putting it off until October after the country suffered a spike in COVID-19 infections. The poll was originally supposed to be held in May, but had been rescheduled to September 6th after the country went into lockdown following the coronavirus outbreak. Salvador Romero, who heads the country's electoral court, said decision to delay the elections again came after medical experts warned that COVID-19 infections would peak in Bolivia in late August or early September. Novel coronavirus has hit Bolivia hard, with the conservative interim president Jeanine Áñez and many of her cabinet testing positive, casting a shadow over the elections. The Chile Congress on Thursday gave its final approval to a bill that allows citizens to withdraw 10% of their pension savings to help ease economic pain brought by coronavirus outbreak. Controversial bill, which was overwhelmingly approved in a second vote in Chamber of Deputies, now moves to the President Sebastián Piñera office for his final signatures. In Chile, the pension drawdown bill has widespread public support. It has been strongly opposed by Piñera's government. The swift passage of the bill and surprise cross-party support has pushed Piñera's ruling coalition to a brink of collapse and brought warnings of major economic consequences. Chile continues its battle with COVID-19 with more than 3.38 lakh cases and over 8,000 casualties reported due to the virus. US President Donald Trump on Thursday said he would no longer be holding large gathering in Florida in August to accept the Republican Party's nomination following a spike in coronavirus cases in the state. He said it's just not the right time. The event, initially slated to be held in Charlotte, North Carolina, had been moved to Jacksonville, Florida, after North Carolina's governor refused to guarantee Trump could hold a large event in the state. Florida currently has a total of more than 389,000 cases of COVID-19 with over 5,500 casualties. In the wake of a spiking number of coronavirus cases in South Africa, public schools will remain closed for 4 weeks. South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa said public schools could close from July 27th until August 24th, apart from grade 12 learners who will take a 1-week break and grade 7 students who will take a 2-week break. Total tally of cases in South Africa has surpassed 400,000 mark. with death toll crossing 6,000. World Health Organization has said on Thursday that United States, Brazil and India, which are all suffering fast rises in coronavirus cases, can still get on top of the pandemic. They're powerful, able, democratic countries who have tremendous internal capacities to deal with this disease. The WHO chief Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus on Thursday rejected as false an allegation by US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo questioning his independence and that he owed his position to a deal with China. Responding to a question at Geneva briefing about remarks by Pompeo questioning his independence, Director General Tedros Adhanom said that comments are untrue and unacceptable and without any foundation. Clarifying further, WHO chief also added that the sole focus of the entire organization is on saving lives and WHO will not be distracted by such comments. In Israel, a toddler, Melania Petrushchenko, had to spend almost 6th of her life in accidental exile after Israel sealed its borders while she was abroad on what was meant to be a short holiday. The 3-year-old daughter of Ukrainian immigrants had a tearful reunion with her parents after an Israeli airline agreed to bring her back with a special escort from Kiev, where she had flown with her grandmother in January. Return flights had stopped as Israel imposed a lockdown to curb the spread of the pandemic. Initial success, although now the country is struggling again with resurgence of cases, with more than 57,000 cases and death toll at above 400. Israel continues its battle against the pandemic. China has ordered US to close its consulate in western city of Chengdu as a countermeasure to closure of Chinese Consulate General in Houston, China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs announced on Friday. The Chinese Foreign Ministry appealed to Washington to reverse its erroneous decision. US has an embassy in Beijing and consulates in 5 other mainland cities: Shanghai, Guangzhou, Chengdu, Shenyang and Wuhan. Trump administration on Tuesday ordered the Houston consulate closed within 72 hours. US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo took fresh aim at China on Thursday and said US and its allies must use more creative and assertive ways to press the Chinese Communist Party to change its ways. In a major speech delivered after Washington's surprise order this week for China to close its Houston consulate, Pompeo said securing our freedoms from the Chinese Communist Party is the mission of our time and America was perfectly positioned to lead it. Mike Pompeo, US Secretary of State, further said, "We are the freedom-loving nations of the world must induce China to change just as President Nixon wanted. We must induce China to change in more creative and assertive ways because Beijing's actions threaten our people and our prosperity. Securing our freedoms from the Chinese Communist Party is a mission of our time and America is perfectly positioned to lead it because our founding principles give us that opportunity." Preparations are on in full swing for the grand reopening of Turkey's iconic Hagia Sophia as mosque today, 86 years after operating as a museum. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan will offer First Friday prayers after reopening with hundreds of worshippers in the mosque. Hagia Sophia served as a Christian Byzantine cathedral for some 900 years before it was seized by the Ottoman conquerors and converted to a mosque, but a Turkish court recently annulled the decree that turned it into a museum. China launched its first Mars probe, Tianwen-1, marking another major milestone in the country's space program. A Long March 5 rocket sent Tianwen-1 onto its orbit from Wenchang Satellite Launch Center. Tianwen-1 aims to complete orbiting, landing and roving all in one mission and to obtain scientific exploration data on the Red Planet. The robotic rover is set to embark on an almost 7-month space sojourn before reaching the Martian surface by early 2021. In US, the federal police and demonstrators clashed outside of Portland's Justice Center as Black Lives Matter protests in the city continue. Fires burned outside the center as protesters pushed against the security fence around the building. Federal agents housed in the center showed no sign of retreating, regularly going out of the building to throw smoke bombs and tear gas towards the protesters. Greek firefighters on Thursday battled a wind-driven forest fire that burned through pine forest and forced the evacuation of hundreds of people in the eastern Peloponnese. Thick smoke bellowed above treetops, licked by flames as more than 236 firefighters tackled the blaze, assisted by some 4 helicopters, 8 planes, municipal staff, volunteers. Officials said they had been forced to order evacuation of 6 residential compounds and 1 summer camp. A wildfire raged in the Spanish town of Ferrin, burning at least 160 hectares of land. The fire forced highway to be temporarily cut off as heavy smoke and flames came dangerously close to the traffic. The Rural Environment Office said that the fire was still active and firefighters were still working on controlling and extinguishing the blaze. Former world heavyweight champion boxer David Haye launched a face mask on Thursday that he hopes will prove a stylish and eco-friendly way for people to protect themselves in gyms, shops and ringside as the sport tries to emerge from the COVID-19 pandemic. Launching the Black Mask company, Haye said his design was inspired by Vietnamese police mask, where there have been no recorded deaths from COVID-19, and that he also wanted to help protect the environment. He said the washable mask was sweat-proof, making it easier to work out in gym or boxing club, as the following are set to reopen on Saturday in England. Union Sports Minister Kiren Rijiju attended the Ministerial Forum of Commonwealth countries to share India's road to resumption of sport post-COVID-19 and also continue the creation of a collaborative sports policy in the post-pandemic era, pointing to the importance of citizens staying fit during the pandemic. The sports minister said that Fit India movement has been useful in fighting the pandemic since the building fitness immunity is crucial during these COVID times. Rijiju also spoke of diversification of sports delivery models and shared how India is successfully running online training programs for athletes and skill upgradation courses for coaches. He also shared the contribution of youth volunteers of Youth Affairs Ministry in the fight against COVID-19. While also hailing the collaborative spirit of Commonwealth nations, Sports Minister thanked the Commonwealth Games Committee for agreeing to add the disciplines of shooting and archery to 2022 Commonwealth Games. England and West Indies third and final match of the Test series at Old Trafford in Manchester. West Indies with the toss decides to bowl first. The three-match series has so far been an enthralling encounter between the two sides, both winning one game each. And with the series firmly locked at 1-1, the finale promises to be an edge-of-the-seat contest. West Indies started the series with a 4-wicket win against England in Southampton, with the visitors standing out with a both ball and the willow. The ATP and WTA Tour events scheduled in China for 2020 have been cancelled amid the coronavirus pandemic due to the recent decision by China's General Administration of Sport. All 7 WTA tournaments that were scheduled in China on WTA's 2020 provisional calendar will not be held. China will not host any international sporting events in 2020. The WTO had 7 tournaments in China in its provisional calendar for the remainder of this year 2020, including season-ending WTA finals. China's highest sporting body said only trial events for the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics will be held this year. And the much eagerly IPL season 13 will start on September 13th in UAE with the final on November 8th. IPL chairman Brajesh Patel informed the dates, with the governing body expected to meet next week to chalk out the details. It will be a full 51-day schedule with the government approval expected for the same soon. The IPL window became a possibility as ICC decided to postpone the ICC World T20 World Cup in Australia due to COVID-19 pandemic. And with that, we conclude this edition of Express News. News and updates continue after a short break. Namaskar.